Hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Aurora C-Sharp Uncut Let's Play series. Now, before we get into today's episode, I got a few very important and exciting announcements. Number one is that I will be adding memberships to the channel very soon. These will be optional, of course. I'm sure many of you are familiar with how they work, and I will be giving out various perks. If you want to know more about them, I will have in the description, if possible, the community post where I talk about it, or you can just go onto my channel, go to the community tab, and you'll be able to see where I talk about what will be happening. But it's just another way for you guys to show support. Aurora is a very niche game, and AdSense doesn't do the best, even though you guys watch a lot, and that helps a lot. And I want to keep producing this content consistently for you guys, not just this series, but also the next series that I have in works, which I'll be running in parallel with this one. More tutorials, written tutorials. These things take hours and hours of work from me to be able to accomplish. Hell, even this Uncut series takes around 14 hours a week for me, and then I have to do everything else in my life, right? And then I'll have another series coming out, so that'll take, that may take, I may be going up to 20 hours a week, and I have to write tutorials, manage other stuff. So if you guys did support, and I would be very appreciated if you did, it would mean that you would be essentially paying for six videos with one small £2 a month subscription. That would be supporting like 6 different videos for me to create, which is very significant. And it would definitely help a lot. And we gotta pull together because I want to keep making this amazing game, but obviously the game's pretty niche. There's not a lot of people playing it. And so YouTube doesn't see that as much. Other than that, I do want to say that I'm sorry for the delay on the next series, which I was talking about just then. I'll hopefully get some work done on it this week, and then hopefully it'll be coming in early June. But we'll see. Of course, delays might happen. I want to get it right as possible. It's going to be really awesome. It's going. I've already shared the name. It's going to be called Aurora C-Sharp Shattered Empire. So I'm sure many of you can relate. Anyway, on to today's episode. Now, I got quite a few comments regarding a few things last episode and a couple episodes before. Mainly around my boys and also the railguns. Now, the boy wise, people suggest, there was a person suggesting that I put them on all the survey locations. Which, while a good idea, as we can see all the survey locations here, which are really cool. While a good idea, I don't have any active NPRs right now, so there's not really much of a chance, and there's no active spoilers that would be able to do that, so I'm not too concerned right now. In terms of the railguns, people were saying that would this actually be effective because of the low tracking speed? And yes, it will be effective due to rate of fire. People were also talking about there's no active sensor. This thing's not done. It's obviously not done because I haven't sorted the maintenance out yet. But I was just toying around with it. I was not very sure if I needed it or not. Now, on to grander things. As we know, I lost 2 vessels in Groombridge and Shreve 2398. We currently have our naval fleet in Shreve 2398, and we don't really have anything over here. From what I've heard on the Discord, from the Warfax Discord, from what I've heard, the aliens in Groombridge are terrifying. They have around 330 kilotons of forces, but they've also said that because of how many they have, it's very likely that this planet, this desert mountain, this beautiful desert mountain world, will have partially intact cities or things that could be very good for us, and lots of salvage. So this is going to be my goal for this series, is to win this battle. I want to beat these guys, and I want to take all of their resources, because that could exponentially grow our capabilities. Now, let's head ourselves over to Shreve 2398, where we're currently still engaging enemies. Let's go over here. We've got our tankers moving up. We're stabilizing it on the other end. And here we are. We managed to beat through most of their missiles, and we had headed towards this. Now, my concern is that they're going to have access to anti-missile missiles. Now, anti-missile missiles are extremely potent, especially at this range. We have a lot of vessels, but I'm not sure we'll be able to handle an anti-missile missile volley, but I am going to try. I want to see if I can handle at least one. If I can handle one, I can handle them all. The problem is I probably won't be able to handle that single one. So we're going to move up Task Group Alpha to the next waypoint, and we're going to have them prepare to move in. So we're going to move. Okay, so far, no contact. So we're probably going to need to get, I don't know, 6.6 million kilometers away. So their range on their normal missiles is about 35, 40 million kilometers. So we're going to continue advancing. As soon as I get a warning that they are firing, I'm going to move immediately backwards because I'm not taking any chances. New population has been detected, so we have a population contact. Interesting. Do we have any race information regarding that population? 2298 thermal contact 35. Interesting indeed. Okay, let's continue moving up. Okay, so far good. I'm going to give a guess that anti-missile missiles will probably be 2 million kilometers in range. If they don't have any anti-missile missiles, that will be concerning. The other thing we have to concern ourselves with is surface-to-orbit weapons, because they could definitely have access to surface-to-orbit weapons. Okay, well, now we're getting within our small sensor. So we have now detected 7,700 tons of ground forces. Now you have to remember there is fortification level. Fortification level of forces like these will reduce how much we can actually see of their forces. So I'm going to guess that they have probably 30,000 tons of forces on the planet. So this is something like a small outpost worth of precursors. And they have different levels of defense depending on how valuable the world is, so to speak. I mean, if we look at this world here, there is a nice destroyed outpost here, and there's some decently colonizable planets, but this has got a carbon dioxide, nitrogen, helium atmosphere. It's not exactly ideal. Of course, we could terraform it, and it would probably be a just fine planet, but you know, it's not the most ideal thing ever. Okay, we're now about 3.5 million kilometers away. We're going to continue our advance. Who is currently leading the fleet, by the way? Do you get interested to know that information? Commander Rachel Jennings. Which ship are you currently in command of? Let's have a look. Rachel Jennings is in command of the Corvette Cyclone. I don't like that. Someone else is going to be in command. Commander Sophie Hyde of the FRSS Mu Hercules. We're going to move you in. We have all of our current weapons ready and operational, so hopefully we'll be able to weather any storm that they come across. Our ships are pretty heavily armored as well, so I'm hoping that we'll be okay here. Really? No fire yet? We're 2.4 million kilometers away so far. Their AMMs must be incredibly short-ranged if they are. So we may be able to weather the storm and then start hitting them into oblivion here. New salvo contacts, 31,000 kilometers. Those are normal missiles. Those are ASMs. I'm not concerned. There is the AMM spam. So we have, what is that? 10, 20, 30, 10, 15, 20, 25. We're talking like 40 AMMs. Okay, let's move back. Those are going to hit hard. Let's move back to waypoint 11. No, waypoint 11, waypoint 10. Waypoint 10, move back immediately, please. So hopefully... Okay, here they come. I'm going to hope that they just disappear. Nope, they did not. Nuclear detonations, we suffered armor hits. Looks like it didn't get through. How did our missiles actually do there? We destroyed 23 of their AMMs. That's actually very impressive considering their speeds. Okay, we're gonna try and get away now. They're just throwing their normal ASMs at us, and their ASMs can't actually hurt us. So, yeah, there we go. Just gonna burn through all these AMMs. Also training up our crew. If we have a look at our vessels here, we are getting some training, some grade from this. But yeah, Commander Rachel Jennings is in command. Another hit, and another hit. Okay, we are good. So the question is, we're trying to. This is kind of a cheesy tactic I did in New Horizons. I want to see if there was a way for us to, how do you say, make it so that they fire at us. Okay, yeah. If they just want to fire their missiles, I'm perfectly fine with that because I can't rebuild their missiles. So another energy impact gone, 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 gone. Okay, great. Our point defense scans are doing really, really well. Any more? Any more big boy missiles? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's move the task force up a little bit. Because if we can get in range of them, they don't have any. I don't think they really have any beam weapons, it seems like. So, I think one of them's the sensor, yeah, the GPS, as we can see here. And then those, one of them's the anti-missile, and then one of them's the non-anti-missile missile. Can we actually tell that? Populations. Armadale. Observe sensors. Observed. No, I think we need to shoot them to know that. Okay. That's the edge of their range. At least I hope that's the edge of their range, because otherwise we're going to get fucking destroyed. Okay, move back to waypoint 12, please. Oof. We just got hit. The FRSS Rigel got hit. Luckily, these are just AMMs, right? So if we have a look at our ships, the Rigel is obviously our scout frigate. I think we should probably detach that. Can't really do much, can it? Yes, the Rigel is our scout ship here, and luckily we armored our scout ship. So if we have a look at it, where is the ship list? No, I want to have a look at the ship itself, please. Armor status. So that's what all those AMMs actually did to the ship. Not actually that painful, considering. But if we have a look at these are our bigger ships. So the Omicron got hit as well, and so they will sandpaper us down if we're not careful. So I'm going to detach you. You're going to go to waypoint 10. You are not fit to be fighting right now. Now my question is what is their recharge? Right? I want to know how long does it take for them to fire again. Okay, so they have an active range, then they've somehow retarget that range. I'm not sure how to approach it, because if they have more missiles than I actually can withstand, then I'm just going to lose these vessels, right? And what is the distance? Like, let us calculate this, right? So if I need to close a distance of, we're talking about 2 million kilometers. I go 5,000 kilometers per second. So let's do a little bit of math. With help of Google here. Let me do a little bit of math. So what is 2 million divided by 5,000? 400. So it's going to take us 400 seconds to get over there, or a total of, yeah, that's going to take us about 6 minutes, and like 40 seconds, right? That's how long it's going to take us. Can we survive that many AMMs in 6 minutes and 40 seconds to close the distance? That is the question. I don't think we can. Not to mention we have to deal with the surface to orbit weapon fire. But am I going to do it anyway? Yeah. I am. So, we're going. The charge of the... What was that brigade? I forget. The charge of the light brigade? I don't know. But we're doing it, boys. We're going in. So, here we go. Okay. Yeah, maybe I want to rethink this. That's a lot of missiles. And they're probably not going to run out anytime soon, are they? They're probably not going to do that for us. And because I'm not fast enough to cheese them, am I? Because they're going so incredibly fast here. Yeah, these are size 1s, thermal 4s. Oof. The armor on the Omicron just got absolutely shredded. Nuclear detonation. The Omicron got hit again. We lost a fighter fuel storage. But overall, we did okay there. We're not hitting any. Okay, so that's where their range is. But the problem is that we can't get out of their range fast enough before they fire, right? So, because they're going 70,000 kilometers per second, right? So that means they can close the distance, and we're talking, a good 30 seconds, 30, 40 seconds. While we can only close the distance within 6 minutes. So, realistically speaking, we can't actually do anything there. So, I'm going to sit them there for a little bit. We know we can't leave at least for another 200 days. We have a tanker on the way. And I don't really see a threat that they can pose, because the only thing that they have that could deal damage to us is their normal missiles, but we have plenty of help. So what's the component damaged? Okay, repair that. Yeah, repair that, and we should be good. The armor status on this got shredded, but this is why we had that 5 layers of armor. That 5 layers of armor just soaked all of those missiles. So it's an expensive strategy what they're doing, but it's it's pretty decent. Something as well, if we are actually going to take these guys out, we're going to land some ground forces. So I do want to. That's why I've been researching some ground combat stuff, and I'm also going to order up more infantry battalions. Oops. Going to order up 4 infantry battalions. We can also produce stuff on rice. I believe we were stockpiling verendite. Yes, we were. So I'm going to actually produce a homegrown infantry regiment right there. So that'll take a year or so. And I'm just going to make sure that they can't do anything to us. Okay, so the problem is that they're just going to move out of radius, right? So we're gonna sit them there. I'm not too concerned, honestly. Wait, what the hell's going on there? Cyclone only has 15.6. Yeah, you should only have 15.6 million liters of fuel. We'll get you a tanker immediately. Don't worry about it. Yeah, here we go. So they come around and they come through, and we should be fine here. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, for fuck's sake! Tanker, please don't tell me my tanker is going to die, because that's actually an extremely big problem, and I should not have. Okay. Task group. Head straight to waypoint 5. Try and pull their attention. Wait, what? They actually being smart and shooting that? No way. Fucking murdered the Rigel. This Alpha gets really do not have a good egg. Okay, Task Group Alpha, you have a new job. That job's going to be to go rescue the survivors of the Rigel. Cardigan, hold your position there. Actually, no, don't hold your position. We need to wait for a pass to go. Oh, for fuck's sake, we just lost our transport ship. Are you kidding me? Okay, this incompetent commander strikes again, because I am being incompetent. Okay, well, go rescue the survivors. Then we need to send another tanker. I mean, like, we can't not. Like, we have to send another tanker. I'm going to buy one. I mean, I think I have to, right? Like, I have to buy a tanker. Miscellaneous ships, but build me a tanker now. Space station fleet, I don't care. I just need one. Tanker, Cardigan. Okay, we're gonna send you straight to your name. Okay, that'll take you 54 days, and then we're gonna send you straight over to Task Group Alpha. Okay, we're gonna withdraw for now. We just took 2 losses for no reason, and I really didn't want to take any losses. So life pods, we have life pods here. We're gonna go rescue those survivors. Their missile shouldn't be able to do anything to us because we have plenty of point defense systems, but this is really unfortunate. We lost those. Thankfully, we'll be able to save the crew, some of the crew at least, because this is an active war zone. So I'm gonna pick the crew up, okay, and we're gonna hold that position. If they want to fire missiles at us, they can go ahead and fire missiles. But that's actually pretty smart AI. They shot the lone defenseless thing before they shot the other stuff, which is actually really, really intelligent. And we're going to need some more resources considering that fact, and some more stuff. Now, someone else I've been reading in the Discord, we can build some components. Now we do have this ion drive, and we can actually produce like 20 of these. Actually, I'm gonna go for 50. And I'm going to put this at 25%. And the reason I'm going to do this is because I want to start building a lot of frigates, like a lot of frigates. Because if we have enough, we could theoretically deal with it. But it's pretty extensive. Okay, I'm going to retool for the Kent class. And we can build the Kent or the Essex here, which is really nice. We have bridging stuff. So I'm going to build 3 more Kent class escort frigates. Yeah, we'll build 3 more of those. Let's put them into... We'll just use space station for now. Put them into there. We can also build more corvettes if we want to, but I'm going to want another 5,000-ton shipyard for capacity to build our scout frigate, which we surely lost, which is unfortunate because now we don't have enough range to actually detect them because it gave double the sensor capabilities. Okay, tanker is finally on the way. 7 billion kilometers out. Leader overhaul. That's the Martin Frobisher. The Martin Frobisher can go to Sirius. Yep. Send you over to the Great System of Sirius. You're going to then standard transit to that jump point. Okay, tanker should be arriving in 17 days. Okay, have we completed orders? Yes, we have. Let's get the task group to refuel from the tanker. Shouldn't take too long. Just go by hours. It's like probably a couple of days at most to refuel the entire fleet. Okay. Yeah, we completed orders, so we now have all of our boys refueled completely. Let's get us back to the jump point. And bring the tanker back as well immediately. Well, we dealt with our missiles and they dealt with us, which is unfortunate, but we're going to head back. So overall, a good test of our weapon systems, but also some significant mistakes. We discovered a new connection to Lalanid 2185. Oh, we can go through Sirius now. That's interesting. So we have a look here. We can go to Lalanid from Bernard Star to Sirius, which is really cool. So we can have kind of this chain where we can go from YZ Seti down to Lalanid and then on to all these other places. Which is really, really nice. Task Group Alpha has completed orders. We're now just sitting there. We have 30 days until we have our jump point available. Also going to refuel from the Cardigan once more. Our first Rice-trained infantry battalion has been completed, which is really, really nice. So we can then put that under the regiment once that's done. 30,000, 60, 90,000 tons. I think 90,000 tons would probably win a battle versus the precursors, but you know that's a whole other thing. If we can't beat the if we can't beat them, we may try a look at the Rackers because they have a very nice system there. But to do that, we're going to need to stabilize. Now, you may be saying, why don't you just put a jump tender, right, to move all your forces through? Well, the problem with that is I want to do it at a bit of a bigger ship and then have that kind of be a support vessel. And I haven't really gone into designing larger vessels just yet. But maybe we need to do something about that. Where is my tugs? There we go. Tug Group Alpha. I want you to grab a Cornwall. Head over to Shoot 298. Grab this one. head over to yeah, and then track to that ship. That should take 26 days, and that'll be done by then, so we should be good. Completed overhaul. The Diego Silves is having a bit of a fit. I send you through to Sirius. Send you to Lambda Reticulii, and then we can go through that jump point. We're really expanding exploration-wise, like significantly. We completed our jump point. Very good. Now, which was the one I gave orders to? Entry system jump, load mine. No, I want tug groups. Tugs. Tug group. Track to that ship, then head over to Tau Ceti. Put it onto that place, and then you can head straight back to Sol and refuel. Okay, we're just waiting now to get this. We're having insufficient. Why are we not? We've got research facilities available. That's really weird. Sensors and fire controls. Let's get main engineering on the way. And then I also we'll get fire control speed rating 4000 because that's pretty cheap. Well, we've researched a lot into it. Okay, now we're going to refuel from Fleet. We're going to refuel from the Cardigan. And then we're going to head straight to Bernard Star, refuel from there, then head to Sol, and then refuel and resupply. That'll take us around 20 days total. Okay. Well, this is good. The Potsdam ran out of fuel in Alpha Centauri, didn't it? Yeah, so we'll send the Cardigan over to Alpha Centauri to go handle that. Cardigan Alpha Centauri, fleets, the tug group moves to location. Okay, so so it was a somewhat successful engagement. We lost vessels and they didn't lose anything, but they did lose a lot of missiles. So that is something that we did get from it. More infantry battalions have been trained up. Research is going well. We'll have main engineering soon. What I really want is my own missiles, but I'm not sure how good of a missile I can design just yet, considering we have pretty bad missile technology ratings. Now, we'll have better fusion warhead ratings, but we need to wait a little bit for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the RawForex the RawForex Optimizer by IceRanger. Great tool. If you don't know about it. We're going to use our missile optimizer. I want to maximize speed, and we're going to go for a size 6 missile. No, size 4 missile, because I'm going to use this on fighters. I want just alpha strike capabilities. We're going to go with fusion boosted, right? That's what I'm going to aim for. We're on Ion Tech. We can do 32 missile agility, I do believe, right now. Let me have a look. Yep, we can do a 32 on our missile agility. Our fuel efficiency is at 0.7. We have an engine boost capability, I think, of 1.75. Let me check. Engine boosts. Yeah, we definitely probably want to get some upgrades into that because that's kind of important. Okay, I want a desired range of, I don't know, considering we want to outrange them, we're talking probably like 40 million kilometers, right? Like that's the area we want to be looking at. So we'll do a range of that. We have 5 warhead strength, so that means 0.25 can get us 1 MSP, right? So it can get us 1 damage. I probably want to do 4, which means we need what? Let's do the 4 because I want it to be squared. Target speed. I want a 50% chance to hit going 5,000 kilometers per second. There we go. So that gives us a 28,150 kilometer per second missile with a range of 40 million kilometers. And if we let's say we had like 32 fighters and they all had those missiles, or hell, 18 fighters and they all carried 4 launchers on them, that'd be 72 missiles from a single strike, which is a pretty significant alpha strike capability. Yeah, that is definitely interesting. Could we get that any faster? I guess if we did engine boost bonuses, right, we could get a significantly faster thing speed, but we're not able to do that. So I want to square the warhead, so we'll do a size 4 for now. Yeah, so a size 4 warhead would I think would be good, and then I'll tone down this back to 1.75. But like 20,000 kilometers a second, that's about equivalent to what they have, but our missiles are probably much smaller, and we can use them for alpha strike capabilities. But overall, like, that's pretty decent. There's only take we need now and this fusion boost to them when we can start making those. So let's start thinking about some carrier design. I think that's where we're going to take the episode off for now. So let's think about carriers, right? So I want a 30,000 ton carrier. Now, that's a lot, especially for our navy. And I want at least 33% of the ship to be in hangar decks. So I'm going to add in our hangar decks beforehand. So 33% of the ship is going to be basically 10,000 tons. This is 30%, I believe. So we'll do 9,000 tons. So 9,000 tons means we can have 18,500 ton vessels. But I'm probably going to do squadrons of 16, and then we're going to have a sensor fighter that will allow us to fight longer range opponents. So that's what we'll start. We'll start with 9,000 tons. Let's add an auxiliary control. I'll need to add some other stuff. It's not quite, it won't quite be ready yet. Let's give it a deployment time of 18. What's our current 12? Yeah, we'll do a year at a time for deployment. Armor rating wise, I think we don't really like the entire point of a carrier is not really to get hit, but when it does get hit, I do want something there to protect it. Now let's look at our frigate, right? Our frigate is 5,000 tons with 5 hull armor. Let's say we added 30 armor to this. That increased that by 14,000 tons. So we're not going to do that. 15, that gives us, quite significant. If we do 1, we get a lot more tonnage efficiency. So I'm going to do 15 armor. Maybe we'll lower that. It depends, but it definitely means that if we get hit, it won't be an issue. Let's go for 10. I think 10's a better number. Yeah, let's do 10. Okay, now we need engines. So let's go back to our optimizer again. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so optimizer. So we want a 30,000 ton ship. I don't want it as fast. I do not want it as fast as our current ship. So I'm going to do I want a speed of, let's say, 3,500 kilometers per second with a range of 60 billion kilometers. So that ends up with us having 3 million liters of fuel. The engine HS looks good. It gives us an optimal fuel balance. If we had 10 layers of armor there, that gives us 13,000 tons to play with. Minus 9,000 from that for the hangar space, that gives us 4,266 tons to play with, which we can then use for sensors, other control, and maintenance supply. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We could probably go lower, to be honest. What if we did 3,000? What would we get out of that? That would lower the HS and increase the tonnage we'd actually get by 1,000. But I would like to be more fuel efficient. What if we tried a commercial engine? What if we did like a 2,600 kilometer design? Yeah, that would take up way too much space. So we're going to go for a military 3,500 kilometers per second. That means we need 3,000 fuel. Yeah, 3,000 pieces of fuel. It gives us 60 fuel HS. Let's try 3,200. I want to see if I can optimize this somewhat. 61, 38, 75. Yeah, I think 3,500 will work best for us. What if we go for a 40 billion kilometer? 40 billion actually reduces the amount we need significantly. If we have a look at the HS difference, I screwed that up. So that means 3 million liters of fuel, while in comparison, 40 billion kilometers only needs that much, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. And then we can obviously tone down the actual engine size. Like we could go for a 35% of the ship, which gives us an engine HS of 2 with 3 million liters. And that will reduce the overall tonnage required. That actually works really well, I think. We're going to try this. So that means we need two 60 HS engines with a 1.25 power boost. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a fuel hog, but it's not going to be moving a lot. And also, it needs extra range because it's going to be slower than the rest of our fleet. Right, so the point is the other vessels are going to slow themselves down to escort the carrier, but to escort the carrier, that means they're going to use the same amount of fuel and have less range. And so we're going to want the carrier to be able to have more range to make up for that. So let's do the engines. So we're going to do 60 HS engines. I think obviously we could optimize this with some bigger engines, but I think two engines is probably good for a carrier, let's be real here. And then we're going to do a 1.25x boost. And we'll prototype that for now. So that means we're spending 6,000 tons in our engines, which actually isn't that much when you think about the size of the vessel. So there we go. So we've got those two engines in now. And what do we need for the fuel storage? We'll do two large... How much fuel do we need? 3 million. So let's just add all that fuel in. There we go. 3 million liters of fuel. That gives us 6,000 tons to play with now. A pretty small crew, to be fair, for the vessel that we're on. Let's add engineering spaces because it's going to need them. We also want to add some maintenance supply. Yeah, we want some MS maintenance supply storage. So I'm going to add in a large one, just to provide extra maintenance supplies for what we need. The engineering spaces, I want to get the IFR down to something consistent. Yeah, 15 each engineering spaces is pretty a lot. That's 750 tons worth of engineering spaces, which is decent amount. That gives us an IFR of 5%, an average yearly failure rate of 349%. But that'll still last us a long time, so I think that will work out. I'm going to remove a few, though, I think. That does significantly increase it, to be fair. What if we just go ham on these? Gives us a 2.6%. And let's say I remove the maintenance storage, right? If I remove the maintenance storage, it gives us 3 years. It's not that bad when you think about it. But that is a lot of tonnage going to engineering, and I don't really want to do that or think about doing that. I think a 4% is pretty good. Okay, what else do I need to be thinking about here? Well, magazine, something I'm going to need to be thinking about. So let's say we have 16 fighters on this ship that can fire missiles. Let's say they have 4 launchers each. That means they're going to be firing 72 salvos each. So to accommodate that, how many salvos do I realistically want? We can do a 1,000-ton magazine, which would allow us to fire, what would be that? That would be, yeah, so that would be 72 missiles, 144, 288. Does that allow us to fire 4 salvos? Yeah, that would allow us to fire 4 salvos from our fighters with that, or 4 alpha strikes. That is not that much, if you think about it. So 2,000 tons of capacity, that would give us, again, around 8 salvos, which I think 8 salvos would be definitely a respectable amount. The only problem here is going to be with a design like this, right? Is the tonnage, right? So we only have 25,000 tonnage around there, so we're definitely going to need to do some kind of magic. We're going to need thermal and active sensors, of course. I'm going to put in the advanced thermal detection system. So we'll do one of those. So we'll do an EM, and then we'll do a thermal. And then we'll also do an active sensor, and then that's a missile sensor. Well, it doesn't need an active missile sensor, but it does need an active sensor of some kind. I want a pretty decent one on the carrier, to be honest. Active sensor array, active Mark 1 advanced sensor array. That gives us 100 million kilometer range, which is significant, but it's not that much. So there we go. Fuel capacity wise, hangar space, deck. Everything's looking pretty good considering for a carrier. We don't really want to add any weapons to it because we don't really have the space to, and that'll just detract from the actual purpose of the mission. So I'm not interested in adding any weapons. Besides obviously the fighters themselves. But yeah, we're gonna need magazines, right? And I think the magazine is one of the most important parts of the actual vessel, when you think about it, right? Because that dictate how many fighters can reload and then fire their salvos off again. So let us do a size 40. That'll give us 8 salvos, 2,000 tons. That should allow us to fit it in. Yeah, we're gonna do a size 40 magazine, and that magazine should allow us to hold, we're talking around 600 missiles, right? And then we can add any left over that we need as well. Overall, that looks pretty good. Is the engines off? I swear the engine should not be off. Fuel consumption per hour, 3,500 kilometers. Actual tonnage. Yeah, they are off because I'm doing too much fuel efficiency. Because it's not calculating it correctly for what the tonnage we need. 3,000. So that means 56. That gives us 19,627 tons. So 3 engines there, 56 HS. 1.0 power boost, fine. We'll get rid of these engines, obsolete the component, and just get rid of them. So we need 56 engine HS. Here's the problem with designing ships. It takes so much of the episode away, but I'm sure you guys probably like it. I mean, I don't really know. If you guys do like the ship design part, like, let me know. I can kind of go a little bit faster and skip over this part, but I mean, I do enjoy doing it. So yeah, that's a bit too much tonnage, isn't it? 2,800 tons, 5678. Yeah, it's a lot more tonnage. You know what? But then we don't need as much fuel, right? So we can get rid of the fuel storage. It's still more tonnage heavy than for us. So I'm gonna do where is it? The 937. I'm gonna do the 8 HS ones. 60 HS, 1.25 power boosts. We can do a 1.3. No, just go for a 1. We can go for a 1.2. So that gives us 1,800. So that's significantly slower than those 3 700 EP engines, but like it does give us quite a bit in terms of other stuff. So let's add in that. So that gives us 800 tons to play with. So with the rest of it, I'm gonna add in primary flight control, and main engineering. So that gives us a couple hundred tons to play with. I think the only extra thing that I would like to add, auxiliarily wise, is going to be obviously maintenance facilities. Yeah, we're gonna add maintenance storage. Maintenance storage. Where's maintenance storage bay? We're gonna add 2 maintenance storage bays, and that'll just give us some extra MSB. Because remember, every time these guys fire their missiles, they're gonna have to repair them, and that's gonna be a concern. But yeah, the Natalia class carrier, I think that actually really works well for the doctrine I want, which is basically carrier comes in, got all of its fighters, it's gonna sit there. Then it's going to launch them all, and then they're going to provide strike capabilities against enemy positions. It's a lot slower than our current fleet vessels, but that allows it to have a little bit more fuel and also the extra tonnage to get the capacity that I want it to be able to get. Now, some people might say, why don't you just lower the armor rating, right? I mean, the armor is taking up a significant amount of the ship. And that is correct. That's a significant amount of the ship. If it's not going to be in the actual combat, then what's the concern? Well, the concern for me is that I need something that isn't just going to blow up in a few seconds. It's a carrier, yes, and it's kind of important. If you think about it, right, just look at the cost. For this one carrier, we could afford to produce, 1600. We could make 5 frigates for a single carrier. Okay, it's kind of a big investment. Like, we need the armor just for protection in case we need to. It's also going to store a bunch of fighters on, which is going to be even more expensive. So that's my thinking behind that. So we can't finish the design just yet, and it's pretty bare bones considering, but overall, it will be able to accomplish the job that I want it to accomplish. So let's actually start designing some fighters. I'm going to change these names eventually. These are just for now. So I'm going to go for a strike fighter. I want something a bit like the F-35, something like that. Remove the bridge. I'm going to remove the engineering spaces and that. It's not a freighter though, mate. It's not a freighter at all. It is a fighter. And it's going to be only active for 0.1 day, so that's what, like 10% of a day, so that's like 2.4 hours of combat. It's a little much. We'll do like 7 hours. It's got a deployment time of 8 hours, so the fighter can be deployed for like 8 hours of combat. We don't really need massive amounts for that. Okay, so the most important thing for a fighter is going to be the engine. Now, it is a missile fighter, so we don't need an engine that is insane. But we do want a decent engine, so we can go for a size 4 engine. I want something that is somewhat fast, because the whole point of a missile fighter, right, is to load ordnance, launch into combat, fire its missiles, and then get the hell out of there. It's not supposed to stick around, so we do want it to be somewhat fast. I want to use as much of our capabilities possible in terms of engine power. So this will give us a, what will that give us? That will give us a 4HS. So that will make it go, what, 8,750 kilometers per second? That's okay. What if I show next tech? What can I get out of this? Nothing apparently. I can't see it, but okay. So we'll go for this. We'll go for a size 4 engine, which gives us 200 tons, which gives us 250 tons to play with. What if we went for a size 5 engine? That'd give us 110, 1,200 kilometers per second speed. That's quite slow, to be fair for a fighter, but it's because our fuel engine power percentage upgrades aren't really there. So that's something we're gonna have to focus on, because both fighters and missiles take massive advantage of it. Okay. I guess the first thing we're gonna do then is design the other stuff first to see how much space we'll actually have for our engine. So missile launcher. Let's do box launchers, of course. And I'm going to add in size 4 launchers. So these will be size 4 box launchers. It'll be 120 tons for 4 of these. So it really matters. I'm looking for Alpha Strike. I don't want large missiles, but Alpha Strike capability. So that gives us 4 of those, which is pretty good when you think about it. That gives us 4 missiles. We could do 6 and now 250, and then the rest for fuel, and then we could do other stuff. So that would be 6 missiles per, but then that also screws everything up. So I'm going to go for 4 ahead. So yeah, we could definitely go with an engine that is that heavy. We could go for a 5HS engine at 175. Because I think we'll have the tonnage because it is a missile fighter. Let's get on the engine and add that on. So that gives us a pretty decent speed, and that gives us 100 tons left to play with for missile fire control and also a few other things. So fuel storage wise, that's a lot of fuel. Let's not add that much. I'm going to add in a small, so that gives us a 1 billion kilometer range or a 500 million kilometer range total capability. Then we need a missile fire control. Our missiles are aimed to go 40 million kilometers, so we're going to go a little bit above that, but it should work out. They're going to be hitting large targets. Yeah, versus smaller targets, they have a little bit of a problem. So 60 million, 50 tons. Let's go for that. So that gives us a 41 million kilometer range. So 25 tons for HS, which works well. Now the question is as well, do we want like a a small sensor for anti-missile missiles, because that could definitely be useful, right? If you think about it, like this would allow us to have a better range versus like fighters and stuff that get close. But I'm not too sure how useful that would actually be, because if we look at the 5,000 ton HS, how does that compare versus like 1,000 tons? That gives a range versus 2,000,000, 3,000, which that's significantly lower, right? So if we designed one of these for a resolution 1 sensor versus a 50-ton object or larger, we get a 9 million. So it's a 6 times range increase, which is significant when you think about it, right? So I'm also going to design one of these. Now, you may be asking, why the hell are you designing 2 missile fire controls? Well, as I said, I just pointed out, but also I want to have other kinds of missiles on this fighter, not just the missiles that are there. I want to add in size 1 missiles, and the reason I want to add in size 1 missiles, is for box launchers, for enemy fighters, and also for emergency, anti-missile duty. If for example, the fighters move up, fire all of their missiles towards the target, then run away, but there's like one salvo of anti-ship missiles goes toward them, they can turn around, fire all of their anti-missile missiles, and then just run away. So these are going to think of these like wing-tipped, short-ranged air-to-air missiles. That's going to be my objective here. So missile launchers. We're going to go for size 1. I want to go for a box launcher. And we're going to go for, size 1. So that's an 8 tons. It's so insane how small these are when you think about it. So I'm going to add 2 of these. We can even have a little bit more. I do want to have enough maintenance supplies, though, to actually repair our vessel. We just need a maintenance storage. You don't really need an engineering space when you think about it. But an engineering space could work. Tiny. That doesn't add enough maintenance supplies, though. I want them to be able to repair one of the components if the missile has an issue. So where is maintenance storage? So we can add in a small one, a tiny. No, I want a small maintenance storage. And that gives us 100 maintenance supplies, so that allows us to repair up to that. We have an operational range of 450 million kilometers or 22 hours. That's much higher than our deployment time, so I'm not really too concerned. Let's add in a few more then. I do want to add in a few more. 58, so that gives us 108. So yeah, that will allow us then to repair. If 2 of our missiles break on launching, then we can immediately repair those without having to go back to the carrier. So this allows 4 salvos at once. That's pretty good. We'll add I guess we'll add fuel for the rest of it. So that will increase our operational range to 600 million kilometers. So if we have an AWACS fighter with us, we'll then be able to have the carrier 600 million kilometers away from the actual target, or 560 million kilometers away, because our missiles are 40 million kilometers away. Okay, that works out. Let's add those to this design. Yeah, let's add that to the design. Can we actually add that to the design? I don't think. Yeah, we can. We're going to go for 10. So we can have 18 of them. So if you have 18, 36, 96 missiles, it's a lot. And then we also have 36 anti-missile missiles if we need them, or anti-fighter missiles. Okay, I think that's where we're going to close the episode off. I know the episode's been a little bit, besides the start of the episode where we got hit a few times, a little bit boring. Should be doing mainly just ship design, getting our naval fleet ready, and prepared to fight those bigger ships. But yeah, if we have, I don't know, 3 of these carriers with, a total of 48 of these fighters, or something like that, and we go against those battleships, well, battleships aren't too good against getting torpedoed. So there is definitely a benefit we can do here. Now, there are a few choices I'm going to make. We need to add some controls in, and we also need to get some better power boost technology. But overall, I'm liking where this is heading, and yeah. I hope to see you next time. Please like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to check out the announcement I talked about in the earlier video. Go to the community page, and I'll see you in the next video. So it's been checking out. Bye-bye.